In case y'all have been living under a rock for the last couple of hours, there was yet another mass shooting, this time in San Diego at a synagogue. And when I learned that it was a synagogue that was shot up, I already knew in my mind who the suspect was, demographic, gender, and race wise. And all of my hunches were correct. All I was waiting for was lamestream media to say and confirm who it was, the race, and the name, because I needed a face. The first thing that they did that I let me know that it was a white person was not give out any information after them saying they took him in. That was the second part that actually let me know, when they said that they took the suspect in. Because if they had killed him, probably then, my hunch would have been incorrect. Then they said it was a white male, so now the race had been confirmed. Now all I needed was a name, and we have that, as well as a face and an age. So everyone meet John Earnest. He's a 19-year-old terrorist that shot up a synagogue in San Diego, California, where he killed one person and injured 3 others, and was taken in alive. Now I'm going to go ahead and read from heavy.com 5 facts you need to know. John Earnest is a 19-year-old. First off, he looks way older than 19. 19, when I saw his face, when they said he was 19, I was like, okay, I'm expecting to see this like barely out of his teens, or barely getting into his 20s individual. But then I had to realize who we're talking about here. A group of people that age like bananas. So, John Earnest is an allegedly 19-year-old San Diego man who was accused of shooting 4 people, killing one at Shabbat of Poway Synagogue in California before he was arrested. Earnest posted a 4,000-word anti-Semitic, there goes that word. That's that word they love to associate with black people all the time. White supremacist manifesto online before the shooting, and said in a post on 8chan, I didn't even know that even existed, but okay, that he would be live streaming the attack. Now, if y'all remember, there was a shooting at a synagogue in New Zealand. That person live streamed their shooting of that synagogue. And ironically, that too happened on a Saturday. So it sounds to me like this guy was being a copycat. Even when they do terroristic things, they don't even know how to be original. But anyway, no video of the shooting has emerged. Earnest was being interviewed by detectives after he was taken into custody. Earnest has no prior arrest record. The shooting occurred on the final day of Passover in exactly 6 months to the day, when a gunman opened fire at the Tree of Life Synagogue in Pittsburgh, killing 11 worshipers and wounding several others. The accused shooter in that mass shooting was arrested. Seeing the pattern here. He was motivated by his anti-Semitic views, according to investigators. See, it's the same exact thing. The same exact thing. Just a different location, different time zone. Earnest said in his manifesto that he was inspired. I feel like sometimes I'm a prophet. I called it. He said he was inspired by the Tree of Life gunman along with the New Zealand mosque shooter. Now, mind you, I did not read any of this article. This is all new to me. And I called it. I said he's copying that New Zealand shooter with the live streaming part, and he's copying what that guy did at that synagogue in Pittsburgh down to the day. It says, who killed 50 people in Christchurch on March 15th, 2019. Now it's going to the 5 parts we need to know. Number 1, police say Earnest opened fire with an AR-15 inside the synagogue and arrested after calling 911 himself. Now that's different. I've never known a mass shooter to call the police on themselves. Now, I remember when Professor Black Truth had posted up a tweet on Twitter, and he was saying anytime there is an AR-15 of any kind used in a shooting, 9 times out of 10, it was a white person pulling the trigger. And he hasn't been wrong about that as of yet. Let's move on to the next part. It says, if I can scroll down, Ernest wrote in his manifesto he would die 1,000 times over to prevent the doomed fate that the Jews have planned for my race, and says he started a fire at the mosque. That is coming from, he sounds like them type of people that be writing white genocide on social media platforms all the damn all damn day. He says he would die 1,000 times over to prevent the doomed fate that the Jews have planned for my race. This goes back to the whole delusion when white people have separated themselves from the so-called Jewish people, when they both are palm colored. See, they separate themselves, like they are on. I actually made a post today, and this actually will line up right with my post. As a matter of fact, let me see if I can go on Twitter right now and pull up that thread that I wrote, because someone had it was somebody who left a comment on one of my videos that inspired me to write this. I said, one thing black people have to know about palm color being on code is that, yes, they are on code always against us, but their code does not end there. They are also against those who go against their beliefs, even their own. If you didn't know, Christopher Hassan, because I was talking about him earlier, list had a lot of white liberals on it. That goes against his beliefs, and that's why he made that target list. And he's not the only one like that. You'll be surprised how many people are glad he will be getting released from jail, even though he know his ass should not be going anywhere. So white people will code up against their own in a heartbeat. Another example will be Heather Heyer in Charlottesville. They had no problem killing her because she went against their belief system. To them, she got off code, and she was a white woman. For them, that's code violation, but with her, that was an exception to the rule. And I wrote that tweet, that thread at 12:38 p.m. And then who would have thought that mere hours later, this would have happened? So black people, don't think that just because they get on code against us, that they only use that against us. This guy felt threatened by the so-called Jew who looks just like him. He probably just didn't have the blue eyes and the blonde hair. And he didn't call himself a Jew, and he wasn't raised that way. As far as I'm concerned, that's more white on white crime, but he doesn't see it that way. Let me continue. I'm glad that point was mentioned. His open letter is filled with references to 4chan and other dark corners of the internet. Now I was figuring, like, maybe that 8chan that they wrote when I said I never heard of that was a typo, because I only heard of 4chan. Now, if y'all know, remember a couple months ago, one of them trolls from 4chan got a hold of my picture and put it up there and was trying to say that I got their channel flagged and taken down 2 times before. I keep trying to get this one, but it's not working. And that was a couple months ago, and I'm still standing. And then what I did was I posted the link to that website and sent all my subscribers over there, and they pretty much went in on them trolls over on 4chan. 4chan is basically a lighter version of Stormfront. It's like one of those white supremacist blog sites that's like really, really down in the dumps. So him making those posts up on 4chan does not surprise me in the least bit. Let's see what the 4th point says. Earnest, a nursing student at Miramar College, is a graduate of Mount Carmel High School in San Diego, where his father is a science teacher. Now, would you look at that? This guy had a bright future ahead of him, but he was so overran with hatred that he was willing to throw all of that privilege away to do this dumb shit. He threw all of this away to be a domestic terrorist and commit what they are now labeling as a hate crime. Notice that they'll put the hate crime on charges on a person quick if they affect you know who. But you know how long it took them to get that hate crime slapped onto Dylan Roof? After all, he did kill 9 people, but it wasn't 9 so-called Jewish people. It was 9 black people. That's why they had to stretch it out, and then they tried to come up with that saying that South Carolina doesn't have a hate crime law. I looked at them with the weirdest and meanest side. I said, really? South Carolina, of all places, doesn't have a hate crime law? But they eventually gave it to him, and he's currently now on death row, and his day will soon be coming. And when it does, I'm going to give him the same treatment as I gave John William King. And let's go down to the last point. Like the Pittsburgh Synagogue suspect, Earnest says he is not a Trump supporter because he thinks Trump is a Zionist, Jew-loving, anti-white, traitorous cocksucker. If they would have put that quote out there, that would have really let us know all we needed to know, because we don't know many black people that call each other cocksucker. That's mostly white people that love saying that word cock. That word is so funny to me. But yeah. Okay. I wonder if they're going to call him a domestic terrorist. They've already said this is a hate crime. We'll see if they give him hate crime charges. He did kill someone, so that's a murder charge. I think everything lines up with everything that he did to be first degree everything. First degree murder, first degree attempted murder, first degree everything. So I can see if he goes to jail, he's going to go to jail for a long time. But I still can't get over point number 4. He had all of that. He had all that privilege and threw it away to do this. And they call themselves high IQ. Okay. Fair enough, I guess. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this down in the comments. And this is going to be a very interesting conversation. And I will talk to y'all in the next one.